am back with another May I Scrap Lift You layout. I am also playing along with my leftovers from the conspiracy kit, and this is the beautiful layout by Sarah Miller House that I will be lifting today. So I've got this little tab thing that says movie that was actually colored by Janet Fritz. I have the Memento white thickers that I just picked out because there was enough letters. That's it. I have this beautiful cut file that says Shenanigans that I'm going to be altering and also putting on some of this Vicki Boutin color study to fill it in with. So hopefully that will work the way that I have planned for that cut file. I do love the back of this paper, but I think I'm going to end up using the bright circles for this. I have several photos that I am going to be spreading across a 2-page layout along with that large cut file, so I can't wait to do that. And from my Simple Stories Good Day Sunshine kit, I have pulled out lots and lots of scraps and overlays, several pieces of the rainbow color, because that is all I see in Sarah's layout, and it makes me so happy. And I struggle with rainbows so much that I picked out several layouts that have rainbows within my May I Scrap Lift You selection, and definitely I'm going to challenge myself to use the rainbow challenge, hopefully. We will see. All right, so I'm going to flip through real quick and just show you guys the overlays that are there, but honestly, I'm only going to use the one that has the hearts in the 2 corners, and that's it. I just didn't know which ones were still left, so I just went ahead and went through all of them. I'm also thinking about punching out a couple of these geotags, but not in geotags, just the circles, as well as these smaller ones too. And then I've got this rainbow piece that I thought I would work for something, but I'm not sure yet. I have the sticker sheets still, which I thought that I had the other sticker sheet. Oh, there it is. Yep, I've got all 3 sticker sheets that I am slowly working my way through. I don't know why I struggle with sticker sheets so bad. And then these viewfinders, this page right here that I just am having a hard time trying to cut up because I don't want to. I think I'm finally going to use some of it. I have this beautiful stencil that kind of looks like the one Sarah used. However, my dots are on the smaller side, but again, I think the effect will still work. And then I have some texture paste, some transparent texture paste by Tim Holtz that I'm going to plan on using, as well as all of these distress inks in the rainbow color. Now, these guys are on the brighter side, so that way they're not the duller, the darker colors. And then I have all these blender brushes in the rainbow color as well, and they are from Tailored Expressions. I bought them when they first came out brand new, and they came in the set. Now you can buy individual ones, which I absolutely love, because of the fact that if you have more greens or more blues, or shall I say more pinks, you can definitely get just the colors that you need rather than keep buying the entire set over and over again, and then you've got blank brushes. So I love that, you guys, to be honest. Eventually I'm going to get some of these little round trays and have all my greens and all my blues and everything but the pinks, just to be honest. So I went ahead and I did both sides of my white paper in the texture paste. And while that is drying, I'm going to rack my brain on how to do this cut file. Now, I have always been one of those that do not like the overlapping of the letters. So what I'm going to do is figure out what letter I want on top and then cut out all of the other letters. So for instance, if I would quit moving it over and over again, I'm going to have the S on top of the H and on top of the N. I have the E behind the H and behind the N, but not behind the I. I'm so on and so forth. So I just work my way around the cut file until I can figure out which all of the letters I want on top and on bottom and all that stuff, because I do not like having, the E going through the N and the N going through the E. That just, my brain can't function that way. So now what I'm going to do is outline all of my letters. And the reason why I did this, did I have to? No. But the reason why I did this is because I thought Now, this is why my brain does not work two-dimension, or past two-dimension, is because I thought that if I cut all of these out, I would be able to use the border around being black as the border of my cut file, just like Sarah used in her layout. Unfortunately, I'm cutting them all out backwards, so when I go to flip the cut file straightwards, it doesn't work. Yeah, my brain didn't function as well as I thought it did. All right, now, painstakingly, I don't know how she did it, I am going to scuff up the edges of all of these letters just like Sarah did. I'm copying her to a T, you guys. Well, not to a T, because I don't have the same cut file. I don't have the same paper pack. I don't have the same photos. But yes, with closer looking at what she did, if that's not even a full sentence, I apologize. With close inspection of what she did, she took the word today out of her Celebrate Today and took the letters, popped them up, but before she did, she distressed all the edges. What was I thinking? By the time this layout was done, I did not want to distress anymore, and my hand hurt really bad because once I distress one thing on a layout, I feel like I have to distress all the things on a layout. All right, so now I'm going to take my, now that the background has dried, I'm going to take all of these inks in rainbow color, just like Sarah did, although I don't know what inks she used. These are just the ones that I have nice and handy. And I'm going to start with the blue and do the green and do the yellow, but I'm going to try not to blend them. That was one of the things that I noticed, Sarah, and maybe I can't see it really well because of all of the beautiful elements she has on her layout. I don't know, but I try not to blend them until I pull out my little rag and wipe off all of the transparency paste that I put on with the circles, because the ink just smears around it. It doesn't actually go through it, I should say. I don't know how to say that, actually. And without thinking, it all went into an arch of some sort, which was not intentional. I definitely did not want the arch, but that's okay. So I do one color at a time because, like I said, I don't want the blending. So I went and I did the red, I moved my towel, did the orange, moved my towel, did the yellow, and then got a new towel for the cool colors. That way I don't contaminate and accidentally get orange inside my green or something like that. So I went and I did that. All right, so with all of these letters already all done up and scuffed up, and oh my gosh, I love the way it looks, but how to get there was wow, to say the least. And then I have my photos. Now these are of me and my family during COVID. We had a ton of drive-in movies available for us, which was perfect because all the families got to stay in their car. Nobody got out. Everybody got out, but we're in our own little area. You're behind your truck, on top of your truck, in your truck, in your car, whatever. We happen to be in a truck. That's why I keep saying that. But it was awesome, you guys. My kids absolutely loved it. This was the first one that we went to, and then I kind of sort of didn't document anymore. I apologize. But I do have another layout for this exact same event where I wanted to put the listing of all of the movies that we went and watched for this, because it was just a blast, and we hope that they keep doing it. In all honesty, for 2021 they did. So hopefully now that summer's coming, we will see if they continue to do it in 2022. I do know that right across the street in the grassy area next to the lake I live next to, they do a large pop-up movie, and everybody goes and sits on the grass and hangs out and watches the movie there, but it's not the same as the drive-in. Honestly, it's just not. It's so fun. Anyways, so I went off camera and I punched out a ton of circles, all of my viewfinders that I thought I would want, and I backed my photos and scuffed up all their edges. Now to scuff up all of these circular bits too. Yeah, again, my hand hurts, just in case you're curious to know. Yes. So I'm going to have 4 of my photos on the left-hand side pretty much take up 6 inches of the entire layout. And then on the other side, I'm going to have just 2 photos on the right-hand side. And then my little tiny photo is going to actually go underneath the 2 photos and over the I and the in and the other in. And some of the S. So it's just going to make a cute little cluster. I was trying to figure out how to make it a part of the word shenanigans. And then I thought, oh, all that dimension, I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'll figure it out. Let's move on to what I know will work, which is all of the photos on the left-hand side. I thought it was absolutely perfect because now when I have all these photos, which the scuffing of the papers went everywhere, by the way, it's all over this layout, all over everything. My desk is atrocious. But because I put all of my photos on the entire 6 inches of the left-hand side, it took away from the fact that I was arcing my colors. So I thought that that was pretty cool in doing so. And then the same over when I centered my other 2 photos, I did the exact same where they kind of took away from the arcing of the colors. And I really, really do like that. It also kind of toned it down a little bit and kept it in the center of the layout, just like Sarah's did, where I felt like I went a little bit too far because Sarah's just seems to be like right in the center. And if I would have done that, I wouldn't have had enough color. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this entire cut file. Now, I don't have a black background. Could I have gone and made a black background for this? I probably could have, but it would have had to been in 2 spots because this cut file is 11.5 inches, which is the max for my machine, my cutting machine. And so I would have definitely had to have manipulated it in some way, shape, or form. But I think I have another plan to where I don't think I need the black behind it. So let me finish putting all of these alphas down really quick. I took it off to where you guys did not want to see me tear off all of those little pop dot backings. Oh my gosh, how awful. And then I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and following the lines of the paper. Now with the A, I kind of go a little wonky. It's okay. It'll be in a cut file and nobody will notice. But I made sure that the foam dots didn't get put to where I had to cut through them. The A did, yes, but the H did not. All right, so now I'm going to take my little viewfinders and scatter them all around the layout. At first, I started looking at Sarah's, and I wanted where she had a striped circle, I wanted a viewfinder. And then I had more viewfinders than she did have striped circles. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to keep going in a few more spots. And then, of course, I thought, well, am I going to decorate this whole thing and then try to glue it all down? Because the problem with having scuffed edges on everything is it's dimensional. It causes dimension, and then your papers don't just stack very nicely. They start to move and blow away in the wind, and it's very frustrating. So what I did instead was I decided that I was going to go ahead and just, you know what, I'm happy with them. I'm going to glue them down. That's what I did. For the pop dot on top of my photo, well, I had to figure out how to glue that acetate sheet down, and I didn't want to use staples. I was going to use staples at first, and then I thought, no, because then I'd have to use staples somewhere else to make it look like I intended to use staples. So what I did is I wanted that little summer loving somewhere on my layout. I just didn't know where, plus the fact that it's off-white where everything else is a vibrant white, except for my viewfinders and other things that I pulled in. But I just was like, I don't understand this. Like, I want all these elements to work. I just don't know how to make them work. And then I realized that my bottom photo had a blank spot to where I could have that summer loving little card come down below it. Well, then I put it in a manner to where the acetate hearts look like they're spilling onto the little card. But I have to figure out how to adhere the acetate to my photo without using staples. So I went ahead and I took a viewfinder, I put some foam dots on it, and I made sure that the foam dots went overlapping the acetate onto the card. And that is how it is attached right now. And then up at the top, I did the exact same thing with that little red dot. I put another foam dot on top of, or onto my red dot, and then I made sure that it went, over both the acetate and the paper is supposed to stick to. All right, moving on to the rest of my title. It's going to say Drive-In Movie Shenanigans. That is the title of this ginormous layout, which I am falling in love with the more and more I play with it. So I went ahead, I don't know where I'm going to put the word movie yet, but I am going to make sure that I have the rest of my circles available to add to this. And since my acetate sheet and that little card has hearts, I went ahead and went with the hearts that are in the center of the geotags. So I have a couple extra hearts that are in circles, and then I think I have one that says summer is here. I have another viewfinder that is on a red background, so I can apply that as well. And I'm just going to scatter them. I'm using my finger to distress the edges instead of my edge distressor, only because, one, my hand hurts. I don't know how to tell you guys that enough. It hurts. Wow. But also, too, they were so small that I didn't think I was going to be able to get the edge distressor into them and still be able to hold onto them and get it to move, because my edge distressor is rather large, and so I didn't know if I was going to be able to get that to work or not. All right, so last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and outline my title in my black journaling pen. I thought, you know what? It is the perfect black border that I am looking for to go around this cut file. It's not in your face, thick black line, and B, it's awesome because it's more of the shenanigans. It's more of the party play and all that. Oh, I forgot to do the center of that G. Do I go back and do it? Probably not. I'm not placing bets on that one. But yes, I do like the whimsical look of when I actually outline something. I really love doing this when I'm making mini albums and things like that, because it just adds character to that. But I will have to go back and fix that G. I've already put this layout in a page protector. Didn't even notice it until right now, so it might not get done. I'm going to go through the sticker sheet real quick, just because I felt like it was lacking something. And what it was a little cluster of hearts, and then I'm going to add some more hearts to almost every single one of my circle clusters that I have, just to try and say, hey, I meant to do this type of deal. I also took that viewfinder and that yellow heart and put it on top of the photo just to cover up a trash can that was nearby. It wasn't ugly and obscene, but it just was something I didn't want to draw attention to. Maybe I did now, but yeah. Anyways, these are the close-ups. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. There are tons and tons and tons of more close-ups and photos of this layout, but I was thrilled when I saw Sarah's layout. I hope I did this one justice. I'm thrilled with the circle rainbow colors. I'm thrilled with the what are they called? The viewfinders. I just love it all. And even though she did a birthday layout, which was definitely birthday, I wanted to do this type of layout because when you have really dark photos, it does them justice to use bright papers with them. I know that you guys are kind of more drawn towards, I know I am, darker papers for my darker photos because it's nighttime. I want to do a nighttime layout. However, with this type of subject matter, it definitely does help to bring in all that brightness and help brighten up your photos. So this entire section of my album will be quite rainbow-y, just to help brighten up those darker photos. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with May I Scraplift You. I also forgot to say in the last couple videos that all the links below where I found all of these layouts, whether it be a Facebook group or Instagram or anything like that, all of the links for these beautiful creators, amazing creators, will be down below where I could find them, to be honest. So Sarah happens to have an Instagram page, and so her Instagram page, so you can check out all of her layouts, is down below. And the Facebook group where I found her layout is also there. She created this layout for pear tree cut files. because I believe she's a design team member. I think that's what it says across her photo, by the way. But I also wanted to say that you can check out more of her design team layouts that she does for Pear Tree over in that Facebook group. So anyways, spiel is done. Thank you so much, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.